Hello, this is Beth Creedon. Today I want to talk about self-love. Do you love yourself? Do you actually really nourish yourself? Do you look after yourself? Do you like who you are? Do you believe you're a good person? Do you enjoy spending time with yourself? Are you constantly trying to get away from just sitting and being with yourself? What is the response that you feel in yourself when you think, oh, I've got this evening to myself, what am I going to do with it? Do you think, oh, great, I'm just going to enjoy myself, give myself some space, some encouragement, maybe do some journaling? Or are you desperate for the invitation? You're feeling lonely, left out? I'm sure each of us have a balance of all of those feelings. But I just wanted to ask you today what you can do by the end of today that would be a loving act to yourself. Now, on the last retreat that I ran in March, one of my participants came up with a really beautiful exercise where she said that she wanted to ask her heart what it wanted. And so she wrote it a letter mentally, but I'm sure you could actually write it down. In fact, no, I think she did. She wrote, "Dear heart, what would you like?" And it wrote back and it said, "Dear Esther, I would like da da da." And she said it was such an easy way to access what it is, not what your head thinks that you want, but actually what your heart and what your feelings want. Not the practical, what you should, what you feel like you ought to do, but really what your heart really is aching for. And I'd like you to try that as an exercise. Dear heart, what would you like today? Dear Beth, I would like some peaceful time, some time to reflect, some quiet time without my phone in the park, just with me and my dog. That's what came up just then. So I will go and do that in a minute. On the other side of that, I wanted to talk today about control dramas. And when you're not completely loving yourself and doing it from a centered place, not an egotistical, I'm amazing place, but just in a, yeah, I accept and I love myself and I'm in a good place and I'm responsible for my happiness and I'm feeling good. We often fall into 4 control dramas. So our interactions with other people can sometimes mean that we feel like we can only be happy when another person is behaving in an acceptable way to us. And if they're not, we shall try and alter their behaviour, and often in not very straightforward ways. And I can definitely relate to doing at least 3 of these on, an average basis. I wouldn't say regular anymore, but I definitely have done these, and I notice it much more quickly when I do. So the 4 control dramas. So when you're having a communication with somebody, and they are behaving or saying things that you don't really want them to say. These are 4 ways that we actually create tension and try and tell them that we don't like it, but without going, okay, what you're saying, I'm finding difficult. Can we talk about it? Which might be the centered, easy way of dealing with it and the most straightforward. But what we often do is try and coerce them and try and convince them that they have to do it in a controlling way. So number 1 is aloof. So how often do you withdraw your attention and look away and go silent when someone says something that you don't like, instead of saying, oh, that was a bit painful, I feel hurt by what you just said, or that's an interesting topic that you've brought up, I'm not sure I'm keen on that, can we have discussion about what that is? But no, we just go, I'm withdrawing my attention from you. I don't like that, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be aloof and move away. And automatically you can probably remember a time when someone's done that to you and you feel like, oh no, oh gosh, let's try and backtrack on that a little bit. Hello, sorry, and like you try and gain their love again. And how yucky does that feel? It makes the other person notice that you have withdrawn, and it's like actually trying to suck your energy, isn't it? So if you notice when you're doing it to other people, how you want them to, apologise, like, I'll show them that that is a wrong way of being, instead of actually saying them, you withdraw your attention. So that's aloof. The second one is intimidation, which is just down and out, aggressive behaviour usually, or shouting at people like, you're doing this wrong. And actually intimidation, is pretty direct, but it's telling people that they are wrong rather than being in communication with them, just shouting them down, or not letting them work in edgeways, or just, making an effort to make them feel small, like doing that in order for them to change their ways instead of having an open, respectful communication around it. The next one is interrogation, so asking questions. So, do you think you should have done that? Don't you think you should have done that differently? Are you sure that's the right way of doing that? Do you think that's going to work? Instead of just being, okay, I'm not sure that would work, what do you think? There's always a more centered and respectful way for yourself and for the other person, which is just clean. It's a clean way of discussing with someone. Like, I think this, what do you think? Instead of, questioning and demanding that they, give a reason for why they're doing stuff, instead of just actually being open to their own reasoning and having a discussion about it. So that one is interrogation. And the last one is self-pity. So, I feel so terrible, this person did this to me, and I feel bad. I feel, they were really bad on me. They made me feel like this. And so it's being in victim mode. So you can only be happy if somebody else changes their behaviour around you. Now, that can be quite divisive, but also, if you've been in pain, you can acknowledge that and say, yes, I am in pain. It's not about saying, don't have a response to someone if they shout at you and are upset with you. But through your radical self-love and actual, being and nourishing yourself and, making sure that you are looking after yourself and that you're coming from a place of integrity and authenticity, you can meet a person who is saying something that feels difficult. It's an act of communication and of resolution for you to meet these people and just go, okay, what you said was quite hurtful. Can we talk about what's going on for you? Because obviously there is something that you're cross about, or there's something that's going on for you that you feel it necessary to put me down. And just notice when you're doing it to other people as well, in that reciprocal nature. So I invite you today to do some radical self-love and some radical self-love with others, and be in communication with each other. Don't be trying to make someone behave a certain way. Just allow them to be, but if you have questions or you find their behaviour difficult, then own that. That is your response to that. And if you feel brave enough to share that, rather than trying to coerce them into behaving differently by slipping into one of the 4 control dramas. And to recap, they are aloof, intimidation, interrogation, and self-pity. Okay, go and have a wonderful day and communicate with each other, you beautiful, beautiful beings. Have a great day.